So this video is actually going to be a quick one, mainly due to the fact that I didn't think this would be a very interesting video to make as a very long video. Based off of the title of the video, you probably are here literally just to upgrade your XENOPIXEL lightsaber. Maybe you are new to the lightsaber community and you bought a XENOPIXEL V2 lightsaber, but it is not the most updated version of the XENOPIXEL, and so maybe you bought a XENOPIXEL V3 chassis. For example, I bought actually this one from Imperial Workshop for I believe $95, but I used a discount code to get it to $90. I do not have a discount code with them. I am not affiliated with them. I believe they only sell to America, so I'm sorry to any Europeans or Asians or wherever you may be from. Let's go ahead and open the box and then show you all the contents, and then we can go ahead and install it and I'll show you how that all works. After removing the lid, you have this SD card reader. This SD card reader you will be able to use if you want to customize any fonts that come on your saber. Next, there is this bag which contains your Allen wrench and a wide variety of screws, ranging from some flat ones, some sharp ones, some long ones, some medium ones, and even the short ones. I believe there are blade retention screws and pretty much just chassis screws. And the chassis screws, they include a variety of screws because they don't know what hilt you're going to install this new chassis into. You have a wide variety and also extras. It will come with a charging cable. If you choose the DC charging port hilt, it will come with a DC charging cable, but this one is a USB Type-C. And then finally, we actually have the chassis itself. This is the new XENOPIXEL V3 chassis. Most of your chassis will look something like this. It may be in a black chassis. The board might be a different color. You might have a different SD card. The battery might be different. But yeah, it's just a normal XENOPIXEL chassis. So now that we have this outside the box, we're actually going to take a look at the hilt that you're going to be installing it into. Now, this is my Atlas XENOPIXEL V2 hilt. It is a fingerprint magnet. It has my fingerprints all over it. So I'm gonna have to clean it up a bit. But this is the Imperial Workshop Atlas V2, and it is only held into the hilt by these two screws on the back. Now, maybe your saber kit will not come with this bag, so you can use the Allen wrench in this bag. However, I'm not going to be using it or any of the screws in there because it already has screws in there, and I'm going to use this wrench instead because I'd rather use this one with a longer handle. What you need to do is first identify which screws in your hilt are going to be holding in your chassis. And so for this case, since it's just these two, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just unscrew those screws that are holding it. And then once you get all of the necessary screws out, you don't have to unscrew everything. Typically, screws that are holding on the chassis will normally be on like the front of the hilt or on the back. So you want to look typically near this area around the button. If there are any screws right here or right here, you may have to unscrew those. Just really take a look at your hilt and make sure that you have the right screws identified, and then unscrew away. Once you have all the screws, what you're going to do is now push in the power button so you can push it through the hilt. So now that you have the button pushed in, your chassis is very loose in your hilt. I've already messed with it a little bit off camera when I cut, but you need to identify how you want to remove it. Now, some hilts have this portion of the hilt that unscrews like this, which is why it turned in the first place. I was just checking this out to see if it turned, and it does turn, so you can unscrew this and then take the chassis out from there, or you could take it out from the very top if it fits. It's pretty much your call, but since this is going to be the easier method, I'm actually going to unscrew the grip section of the hilt just to get out the chassis. And so the chassis slides out just like that. So you have your old XENOPIXEL V2 chassis. Put your old chassis to the side. Now what you're going to do, and not let this screw roll away, is take your new chassis, take your hilt, and then what you're going to do is just slot the new chassis into the hilt just like this. Make sure it aligns with the power button cutout and like the charging port cutout on the hilt. What you're going to do is flip it over. Now what I'm going to do is first start with the long screw on the hilt. You might have different screws, so it's pretty much based off of your judgment. But what I'm actually going to do is start with the long screw, because this long screw actually pushes everything up to the hilt. So this screw actually pushes in the power button and the charging port, so you can actually fit your charger into the hilt, and you can actually press the button on the hilt. And so as you can see, it kind of already is coming out, but the more I screw in, the more it starts to really pop out. This screw, you don't actually want to screw in too much, so if you are screwing in that screw, just really screw it in with your fingers, and if it's pretty tight, I'd stop there just so it doesn't push too far out. And then for me, I have just one last screw, so it was actually a pretty simple installation. But what you want to do is just screw in all of your other screws. So if you have 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, screw them in. Now that screw should actually be holding the chassis very firmly into the hilt. Now you have simply just finished installing your new lightsaber, and then just power it on.
Powering on.
Yeah, that is how you install a new NeoPixel chassis in your lightsaber. So yeah,